Hey everybody, welcome to episode number uh 34 of Cameron's Nostalgia Podcast. I'm your host, Cameron Strickland, and today I have with me Jamie Carr. How are you?
Hi, Cameron. I'm good. Thanks for having me on your show.
Nice. Now for any of you guys who don't know, Jamie is a voice actor who worked for Finny Shark, Carl's Car Wash, Remington Square,
Mhm.
and Cutie Pugs.
Yep. I think, did you have Andy Hayward on your show? You did, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah, because Andy, you mentioned Carl's Car Wash, and I've done a couple of different characters on Carl's Car Wash. And Andy, I'm sure he told you, he plays Carl. So we were on the same show, Carl's Car Wash, but I've never met Andy. Even though sometimes on the show, my character, I played one of the mechanics. His name was Bolton in one show, and he talks to Carl on the show, but I've never talked to Andy in real life. That's kind of neat.
Nice. Let's begin our first question.
Okay.
So, how did you get interested in voice acting?
Okay. I always liked acting and I liked improv way back when I was in high school. And I did a little bit of acting. I did a couple commercials, and I was an extra in some movies, and I've done some plays. But about 20 years ago, um, a friend of mine was working at the radio station here in Cornwall. I live in Cornwall, Ontario, and he asked me to come on the radio show. And I came on his show, and then I started working at the radio station because I liked it so much. And a part of it that I really liked doing were the commercials. So I started doing commercials for the station that I worked at, and then at a bunch of other radio stations as well. And it just turned into a job for that. I found out that I was really good at doing different voices and reading commercials. So it took a long time, but I got an agent. I have an agent in Toronto. Her name is Tanya. Tanya at Tada Voice Works, and she helped me get auditions and do shows like you were talking about, like Carl's Car Wash and Cutie Pugs. And I've been doing it now for about 15 years.
Nice. So, what was your first voiceover gig?
The very first job I got was the very first big job I got was for a TV show called Come Dine With Me Canada, which was a cooking show. And basically, it was a contest where people would make dinner for each other, and then people would vote who made the best dinner. And I was the narrator, so I would do all the comments and try to make that show fun. So that was the first job I got.
Okay, so let's go to the credits.
Okay.
You worked for Clear Score.
Clear Score, yeah, that was a really fun job. So Clear Score, it was for a Super Bowl commercial, and basically in the commercial, there's a man trying to find out about his credit score, and he has the dog, and I got to be the dog's voice. So that was a very fun commercial to do, and it was probably one of the bigger commercials I got to do. I've heard that the dog has got a lot more jobs after that commercial, so I'm very happy for him.
You do the voice.
Of the dog. Oh yeah, he was like, okay, uh, oh no. He never barked. He just talked to his owner, and he wanted to watch the Super Bowl with his owner. So yeah, it was like a he's like a little dog. Well,
I saw that on TV.
yeah. I'm trying to think of the dog's name, and I can't think of his name now. It was Cricket? No, not Cricket. That doesn't sound right. But that was very fun. We tried a whole bunch of different kind of dog voices too. First, it was a very low voice. For a dog like this, he was a doggy like that. But then they wanted to make him cuter, so then they had me do his voice a lot higher like that.
You worked for RBC.
RBC, yeah. So when you do voiceover work, you do all kinds of different things. Like I love the cartoon part, and I love doing like voices like that, like of the dog, or like Carl's Car Wash, or Remington Square. But for RBC, that was more just my regular voice, and that was a pretty big commercial too. I've done a lot of banking commercials, and I think a lot of voice actors make most of their living doing those kind of commercials. Yeah, commercial work is a big part of what you do.
And you worked for Hot Wheels.
Oh yeah, Hot Wheels. That was so fun. So Hot Wheels, it was like they were in it was like a series of contests where the Hot Wheels had to go through different types of races. Some were on different planets. Some had to do with like being the Hot Wheels were driving through like a picnic. Yeah, those were, and I was the man who's calling the race, and here they come down the stretch. That kind of voice. That was really fun. It was filmed a lot like you've seen Cameron. You've seen the Lego Movie.
I seen it.
Yeah, so it was like that. It was that kind of like stop motion animation. So it was made really with the real Hot Wheels and um, little puppet guys. So that was very fun.
And you worked for Slice Stuckey and Tart
Oh, that the Commandos.
the
So yeah,
Commandos.
gummandos. So it's like like gummies. Like they were all different kinds of candies. So for that it was with they had a guy. The bad guy's name was General Tart. And I played Stucky, who was like one of the leaders of the Commandos. I played like four or five different people in that. So I was the good guy and the bad guy. And Stucky was like, "Okay, Commandos," like that kind of. He would lead them into battle. And then General Tart he was very evil, like that. But it was fun because I got to play uh, both the good guy and the bad guy and have them like having arguments and fights. So that was for Spindo TV. That was very, very fun doing multiple characters on that show. Yeah.
You have to work on Atlantic Lottery.
Oh, Atlantic Lottery. Yeah, that was a commercial for Atlantic Lottery out east. And that was just more my regular voice. And yeah, we did three or four different campaigns. Oh my gosh. So the day I had to do that commercial, I was supposed to record it in Toronto, but they got the dates wrong. So then they were waiting for me in Toronto, and Cornwall is about 4 hours away. So then the agency called me to tell me that they were waiting to start recording the Atlantic Lottery commercials. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in Cornwall. I'm 4 hours away. And they said, well, can you drive to Montreal, which is only an hour away? So they just waited. and I drove as fast as I could to Montreal to start recording that session. And then on the way into the parking garage, I smashed my truck against the wall and scraped the whole side. So, I just parked the car and the truck, I mean, and I knew they were waiting for me. So I went upstairs. I didn't tell them anything that I had just smashed my truck, but I was lucky. Well, not lucky, but the money I got paid to do the Atlantic lottery paid enough money to fix the truck. So that kind of worked out pretty good.
And you got to work on Muddy Plains.
Mighty Plains, yeah, that was a cool show. So that was on Discovery Network, and it was all about these different kind of planes that have like really tough jobs. And they would follow the pilots when they were like flying up to the Arctic in storms. Um, and so we would, every episode was about them getting on the plane and having to go somewhere dangerous. And it was kind of like an action mystery kind of show, but it was all based on real things that happened. So yeah, that was fun. That was for Discovery.
So you worked on Sarcastic.
Sarcastic. Oh boy, when that was I think sarcastic is probably one of the ways that they describe my voice. Because when they say I have a sarcastic kind of read, it just means that um like it's kind of over the top, kind of loud. Like I did a commercial for Jolly Ranchers. And in that commercial, there's a small guy sitting in between two big guys. And all I had to say for that was, the middle seat sucks. So that was kind of my sarcastic, kind of funny um, kind of read. And that's what they call it, reads, when you do different kind of voices. When you were talking about the bank commercial before, that's more of a business, serious read. Kind of want to be, somebody that you can trust read, and then sarcastic is another kind of read or kind of voice that you
And you worked for Mustang Sally.
do. Mustang Sally, that was a friend of mine, and he made his own short movie. And in the short movie, it was supposed to be, it was like a pilot actually that they wanted to make for a TV show about these two girls who were living together and they got into like adventures or whatever. And in the movie, I did a commercial for, I can't remember, it was something to do with like this whipped cream machine. And I remember for that, the whipped cream, like it exploded on my face, and we had to do it a bunch of times. So it was really sticky and messy. It wasn't fun, but yeah, that was Mustang Sally.
And you got to work on the the exec
Oh, the Executioner, right? That one?
the executioner and friend.
And Friend? Yeah. Okay. So the Executioner and Friend, that was based on I think it was based on a comic book. And I played the executioner. So the executioner and friend is kind of a silly cartoon where the executioner, he has a black hood on and he works in like a castle. And then he becomes friends with the people that he's supposed to execute. Um, yeah, that was I don't know I don't know what happened to that show, but it was very fun to do. And his voice was very low like that. Because I don't have a very low voice, but sometimes I have to do a low voice.
And you worked on TVO Kids,
Hmm. TVO Kids, that was for Cutie Pugs.
Cutie Pugs.
Yeah, Cutie Pugs was so much fun because it wasn't a cartoon. They filmed uh Cutie Pug. This is Little Engine Moving Pictures, and the show was made with real pugs, puppies. So they had to train the puppies for every episode to go on these adventures. So the puppies would learn about, going up a slide and down a slide. So that would be about the directions up and down. And so I played Petey the pug. And how did Petey say? Petey was like, "Oh yeah, he talked like that. That's pretty cool." A lot like the dog in the Clear Score commercial, I guess. And I was also the narrator, so I was also the one that said it was more my voice. It's a beautiful day, and what are the cutie pugs up to? Um, but they only did one season or 1 year of that because the puppies got big. They grew up, so then they couldn't be uh, the little puppies, and I don't know if it would be too hard to train new puppies. But yeah, that was for TVO Kids. That was very fun show.
Hey, Petey.
Hey, how's it going? This is
Good.
really fun being on your podcast, dude.
Hmm. And you got to work on Finny the Shark.
Finny the Shark. Yeah, Finny the Shark is made by Super Simple TV in Toronto. They also do Carl's Car Wash that Andy Hayward's on. I think Andy was on Finny the Shark too. But I played Oscar the Octopus. And Oscar the Octopus's voice was so high. It was like he was a kind of a show off, kind of know it all sciencey kid. And he was like,
I know everything there is to know about the ocean.
so that's very high for me to do. But Oscar was very fun. I love Oscar a lot. And I played Oscar's dad, who is more like a regular, well, a little bit lower than my voice, but he was always worried about Oscar getting into trouble. Um, yeah, and I think Finny the Shark, it's on Amazon now, Amazon Prime. People watch it on there. But that was a very fun show to do as well. But it seems a lot of the time, like a lot of the voices I do are either very low or very high. So,
And you got to work on Carl's Car Wash.
yeah, Carl's Car Wash, which is again Super Simple TV or Skyship TV as well. Carl's Car Wash, I played uh, Bolton, who was Carl's one of Carl's best friends, who also works at the car wash. And Bolton was a little bit British, a little bit, but not quite. And then I also got to play on Carl's Car Wash on a special episode of Carl's Car Wash. I got to be a superhero called Midnight Moose. And Midnight Moose was kind of like Batman. How did Midnight Moose sounded like that. Okay, Moose Mobile, take me to Carl's Car Wash. I play a lot of different characters on Carl's Car Wash.
And you played Vincent.
Vincent, oh yeah, Vincent was a clown. Vincent, he was a clown, but he took himself very seriously. He was Vincent Huntington the Third, and he would honk his nose, honk honk. He wasn't a very funny clown. He was a very serious clown. But yeah, I think his at Carl's Car Wash, he was in a clown car, and he was one of the clowns that had to bring their car to get washed at Carl's Car Wash.
And you got to be the narrator in Remington Square.
Yeah, Remington Square is Skyship again and Super Simple. Those guys are great. I've done a lot of work with them. They're very fun to work with, and they make great kids shows. Rymanton Square, it was basically a story poem, and I was the narrator, and it was about he was a cowboy. He was a cowboy who came to town, and uh, gosh, I can't even remember what happened, but I remember doing that voice because I always wanted to do a cowboy voice. And then there was also a sea monster on that. And then that one I was more of a pirate. I did like a piratey voice for that. But that was Remington Square. Yeah.
And you got to work on Sonia from Toastville.
Yeah, Sonia from Toastville. Sonia from, have you ever seen that one, Cameron? Sonia from Toastville? No way.
It's on IMDb.
Oh, on IMDb. Okay, so Sonia from Toastville is it's a cartoon from Russia actually that they do this a lot. There's like cartoons in other countries and then they want to bring them over to Canada. So they have to redo all the voices, of course, because it would be hard with subtitles for a cartoon. But we just redo all the Russian cartoon characters in English. And Sonia from Toastville, we did one season of that last year. And then season two is starting this year. But on that, I play the dad, which is Sonia's dad, which is pretty much my voice. Sonia, be careful. And Sonia goes into a toaster. When she butters some bread with jam, then she gets transported to a magic place called Toastville, and she has adventures with her food friends, Muffy the Muffin, and there's an egg. I'm sorry, I can't remember the egg's name, but I play on that show most of the time. I play one of the crumbles. So the crumbs, like in a toaster, there's crumbs on the bottom. Well, the crumbs are the bad guys in Sonia from Toastville. And those guys talk like this. And they have mean little laughs. And they try and get Sonia into trouble. But yeah, it's a pretty popular show, and people seem to like it, so we're making another season of Sonia. I actually go the end of January, the end of this month, to start recording more Sonia from Toastville.
Okay. Well, Jamie, thank you so much for your time.
Oh no, it was great. It was fun, and it was really nice to meet you, Cameron, and congratulations on a great podcast.
Thanks, Petey.
You're welcome, buddy. Talk to you soon.
Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Oh, who else? Um,
Vincent Huntington III, the clown, would also say that he had a very good time. Honk honk. Goodbye.
Nice. Stay tuned for more guests coming up. Until next time, peace.